Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Rush Hour with me, Sumita Karir. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take you through the top stories that we're tracking right here on ET Now. And let's begin with this big story first, and that's related to Manu Bhaker, who's a double Olympic medalist. And she is now in news after reports claim that the champion shooter's name was missing from the list of nominated athletes for the major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Awards. In fact, with Manu's name missing, despite her being the first Indian athlete since independence to win 2 medals in a single edition of the Olympics, the Sports Ministry has come under heavy scrutiny, and that's due to the omission of Manu Bhaker's name from the Khel Ratna list. However, Manu has now said that there might have been a lapse on her part and that, quote-unquote, it is being corrected. But the big question remains, ladies and gentlemen, as to who should be held responsible for the elimination of a name in the first place and whether the Sports Ministry erred on its part by excluding Bhaker's name from the list only because she did not apply for the award under the new rules. And of course, to discuss those and more details, I'm now joined by Jaspal Rana. Jaspal, thank you very much for joining us here on ET Now. Now, you are yourself a recipient of countless such sports awards like the Arjuna Award, Dronacharya Award, etc. Do tell us, is it incumbent upon the sports person to file a nomination, or is it the government's responsibility to felicitate outstanding sports persons?
It doesn't really matter that who has to do what, but ignoring achievement like Manu, which we just got in Paris Olympic, is not right. And the reason could be many. And even Manu has tweeted that it's her fault. So I think that she could not apply on the time and all those things. But how can you ignore achievement like this? So this is not right. And this is not right in a way that, you know, the motivation, the boost which we get out of from these awards and all those things is totally different. And a lot of people look up to you that after achievement, you're not getting award. What message does it give it to the youth?
Absolutely, Mr. Rana, that's a very big message that's going out, and which is why we're seeing so much of outrage. But what do you think happened in Manu Bhaker's case? We hear that there was some error in her filing nomination. Is that true? Could you throw some light on that as well?
I have no idea. And I'm not even saying that, you know, she should have filed on time and that's her fault not filing on time. But if an athlete like Manu can be ignored or maybe not to come in the list because she could not file it is not a criteria, then I think we should look into the policy which decide that who will get medals, who will get awards or not. Because there might be many players, those who are not like at that par, those who can file nomination, and like, you know, if the athlete is from somewhere from the interior and does miss out on the filing of award for the nomination for the award, is that his fault?
Yes, I get your point, but Mr. Rana, what exactly are you alluding to?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that, you know, they should do what I'm saying. They have to look into the policy, and then they have to work on it into the policy so that this kind of mistake should not happen in future. Because these things, like especially in shooting, is a mental game, and if I'm mentally not look after and not, you know, given due awards and all those things, these things gonna affect our performance. Why are we doing everything? It's not just for the medal. It's also like, you know, some kind of respect from the government side, and that's all.
Absolutely, Mr. Rana. This is perhaps an error that could have been completely avoided. In fact, Manu Bhaker's, father, he did say that the youngster followed the due process, and of course, it is really appalling. And why should a top sports person really have to request for an award when he or she is completely deserving of an award? But what do you think? What do you suggest should happen now? And what is it that the government could do in terms of damage control and fixing what's been done?
My suggestion is it's not a suggestion. My request is that don't let this kind of thing happen happen in future, because these things do affect a lot of people, those who are following star athlete like Manu and Neeraj and all these people. So if something goes wrong in their career, it's going to reflect on people, those who are following them. So it's my humble request, do look into each and every athlete's achievement and then decide.
Right, Mr. Rana, my final question before we let you go. Now, times have changed in sports persons, especially who do not make it big, do not have to rely on governments for money. They have enough sponsors and streams of money.
It's not about money, it's about award, it's about honor which is given to athlete. I don't even know how much money she will get for this award, but this award does make a lot of difference when you talk about that, you have achieved whatever award you have achieved. So I think these awards make a lot of difference. It's not financial thing, it's an honor which we get from the country.
Absolutely, Mr. Rana. I was not really alluding to money, but my full question is, how important still is an award like Khel Ratna for an athlete? You've spoken in your previous answers about how this really encourages other fellow athletes to also, join sports as a career. But once again, if you could deliberate a bit on how important is an award like the Khel Ratna is for an athlete or for a potential athlete.
Obviously, the most highest recognized award for the best sportsman, for the sportsman, that's the highest award. And if after this kind of achievement you don't get that, then I really don't understand where you fall in. Then she's a mature girl, she's a mature athlete. She has tweeted that it's her fault, but is that actually her fault? There's a question mark here. So this thing should not happen with any athlete. I'm not talking about Manu, but with any athlete, those who deserve it, they should get it.
Absolutely, Mr. Rana, no athlete should have to actually go through it. And like you said that, it's not Manu's fault. However, Manu did tweet and she did say very humbly, in fact, tweeting, stating that there could have been a mistake on her part. We do hope that authorities can look into these alleged lapses. On that note, thank you very much, Mr. Rana, for joining us here with your thoughts and perspectives on this big developing story.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.